Hello everybody, it's Jenny from Giraffe Class. I thought I would share with you tonight one of my favourite books. It's called A Quiet Night In, and it's about a family of elephants. They're called the Large family. Okay, so let's see what is happening. I want you all in bed early tonight, said Mrs. Large. It's Daddy's birthday and we're going to have a quiet night in. Can we be there too? Asked Laura. No, said Mrs. Large. It wouldn't be quiet with all you lot charging around like a herd of elephants. But we are a herd of elephants, said Lester. Smarty pants, said Mrs. Large. Come on, it's time for school. That evening, Mrs. Large had all the children bathed and in their pyjamas before they had even had their tea. They were all very cross. It's only 4:30, said Lester. It's not even dark yet. It soon will be, said Mrs. Large grimly. After tea, the children set about making place cards. Then they tidied up. Then Mrs. Large tidied up again. Mr. Large arrived home looking very tired. We're all going to bed, said Lester. So you can be quiet, said Laura. Without us, said Luke. Shh, said the baby. Happy birthday, said Mrs. Large. Come and see the table. Mr. Large sank heavily onto the sofa. Oh, it's lovely, dear, he said. But do you think we could have our dinner on a tray in front of the TV? I'm feeling a little bit tired. Dear. Of course, said Mrs. Large. It's your birthday. You can do whatever you want. We'll help you, said Luke. The children ran to the kitchen and bought 2 trays. I'll set them, said Mrs. Large. We don't want everything ending up on the floor. Can we have a story before bed? Said Luke. Please, said Lester. Go on, Dad, said Laura. Just one. Sorry, said the baby. I think he meant to say story. Oh, all right, said Mr. Large. Just one then. Lester chose a book and they all cuddled up together on the sofa. Mr. Large opened the book and began to read. One day, Binky Bus drove out of the big garage. Hello, he called to his friend Mickey Milkfloat. Don't like that one, said Laura. It's a boy's story. Look, said Mr. Large, if you're going to argue about it, you can all go straight to bed. So they sat and they listened while Mr. Large read to them. There's a lot of them on that chair, isn't there? After a while, he stopped. Go on, Daddy, said Luke. What happened after they bumped into Danny Dustcart? Did they have a fight? Asked Lester. Look, said Laura. Daddy's asleep. Shh, said the baby. Can you see Daddy asleep with all the elephants? Mrs. Large laughed. Poor Daddy, she said. Never mind, we'll let him snooze a bit longer while I take you all up to bed. Will you just finish the story, Mum? Asked Lester. We don't know what happens in the end, said Luke. Please, said Laura. Story, said the baby. Oh, go on then, move up, said Mrs. Large. She picked up the book and she began to read. Watch where you're going, you silly dustcart, said Blinky. Just then, Pip the police car came driving by. After a while, Mrs. Large stopped reading. "What's that strange noise?" asked Lester. "It's Mummy snoring," said Luke. "Daddy's snoring too." "They must be very tired," said Laura kindly. "Shh," said the baby. The children crept from the sofa and fetched a blanket. They covered up Mr. and Mrs. Large and tucked them in. "Oh dear," they said, "we better put ourselves to bed." "Come on," said Lester. "Shall we take the food up with us?" said Luke. "It is on a tray." "It's a pity to waste it," said Laura. "I'm sure they wouldn't mind anyway." After all, they did want a quiet night in. And "Shh," said the baby, and look at Mr. and Mrs. Large, fast asleep.